I literally went from sleeping in abandoned buildings and on the beach here in Venice Beach, California, to becoming a multimillionaire with a company creating over $1 billion in revenue.
The path to success is paved with fear, doubt, anxiety, and failure. For some people, it's just too much. Others have the grit and determination to overcome. These are their stories. Welcome to the When It Worked podcast. I am your host, Julian Leahy.
Hello everyone, Julian Leahy here. Welcome to the When It Worked podcast. Today's guest is a gentleman from Los Angeles called Shaahin. And Shaahin is what I would call a very experienced Amazon seller. Not only does he have his own branded products, he also helps a lot of other Fortune 500 companies and individuals that want to become successful selling on Amazon. So welcome to the show, Shaahin.
Julian, honored to be on.
And tell us a little bit about what you're doing now to basically help people on Amazon. And tell us a bit about how you got started on Amazon.
Yeah, so, I started when I was really young, probably when I was 16. I'm 46 now, in the physical products industry. And I developed a smart drug, one of the first and biggest, and created close to about $1 billion of revenue by the time I was 18 years old. And that became one of the largest supplement companies in the world. It was selling a product called Herbal Ecstasy. And I literally went from sleeping in abandoned buildings and on the beach here in Venice Beach, California, to becoming a multimillionaire with a company creating over $1 billion in revenue. And at some stage, I gave all that up. I went into developing some new technologies, and the latest iteration of that, and it's one of the things that I often teach my students, is that you have to think distribution first. So one of the most common problems that entrepreneurs face, and I know the name of your podcast is When It Worked, the most common problems that people face is that they're like, oh man, I can't figure out, I need a product. I got a product. Once I find a product, then I'm going to go out there and sell it, and it's going to be great. And they're so busy trying to create a better mousetrap. And what we teach is the opposite of that. You have to start with distribution first. And that's what Amazon is, the largest distribution platform in the world, which now and since 2009 allows third-party sellers like you and me to be able to sell virtually anything on the platform. So it was, sometime in 2009-ish, I had developed a new type of nootropics pill, and we were going to sell this pill online. And we had a good subscription business going. It was a really high-end product. It was about $120 per month. And I thought, I watched the news, and I was like, Jeff Bezos just opened up his entire platform. He used to sell just books, but he opened up the platform to third-party sellers to be able to sell on the Amazon platform. I said, hey, let me try to sell some of my pills on there. So I put it up, it's $120 a bottle for the stuff. I was like, maybe I'll get one or two sales. I woke up the next morning, Julian, and we had thousands of sales. And I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, there's something to this fucking Amazon thing. And so I started looking into it, and we became one of the first sellers on the Amazon platform, and created another very successful company on there. And shortly thereafter, people started coming to us saying, hey man, what'd you do on Amazon? Can you teach us how to do that? Or can you do it for us? And so we started representing brands all the way from startups to Fortune 50s, Fortune 500s. And we have a course where we teach people like you and me or anybody out there how to sell products and how to find the right products to sell on the Amazon platform to create predictable, recurring revenue streams that never fail.
Excellent. And I liked what you said about how people think that they need to come up with a product first and foremost. And really, it's often the case that it's not necessarily the best product that wins. It's often the best story. That's something I've heard, or the best marketing. You did mention to me something about storytelling in how you teach people how to sell. Can you tell us a bit about that, Shaahin?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I mean, it's all about telling a story, right? Product is about story. And platforms like Amazon have really taught us that there is a language for e-commerce that has to be spoken. We base most of the work that we do on the work of a professor named Robert Cialdini. I don't know, have you ever heard of Robert Cialdini?
I have, one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. He wrote the book Influence, and he talks about the 5 pillars of influence, now 6, which he has added reciprocity to that. And he talks about persuasion. So what we teach is pull marketing rather than push marketing. The old way of disruption marketing that Seth Godin talks about, Seth Godin's one of the great marketing masters and marketing teachers of our time. He's written a bunch of books. If you guys don't have his books, get Purple Cow. It's fantastic. Or The Dip, also amazing. But Seth Godin talks about how the world used to be run by this disruption marketing, right? You're watching your football or, your sport game or whatever, and then an ad comes on. Hey, Julian, you had your Coca-Cola? You should really have some Coca-Cola, Julian. You're like, fucking hell, man. I'm just trying to watch the rest of the game. No, Julian, you know what? How about an ice cold Coca-Cola? Would you like an ice cold Coca-Cola? Right? That's disruption marketing. It takes you out of what you're doing, literally disrupts you and hammers into your head the product that they're selling. The new way of marketing is permission marketing. And the crossroads between disruption marketing and permission marketing is this new form of e-commerce that Amazon has brought to the world. And Walmart is trying to emulate, and eBay is trying to catch up, and you've got a bunch of these other platforms. But really, Amazon and Jeff Bezos are the forerunners in this. And if we want to be successful e-commerce sellers, we have to learn to speak the language of influence. We have to persuade buyers to buy our product. And that's done by speaking a very specific code that translates when people are on Amazon. So, for example, when you're searching on Google, you're looking for information, presumably. So you go and say, hey, I want to look at a pair of glasses. And on Google, you might get some shopping results, but really you're just fishing for information. When you're on Amazon, you're looking to buy. People go to Amazon not for research or information like that. Not really. They're on there. There's a good chance they're going to buy because the second you go on there, you're already logged in. It's cached all your information. Your credit card's uploaded. Jeff Bezos is a mastermind, a genius, because he's made it so easy, so frictionless. He's brought one of the number one elements of influence, trust, right? If the product isn't good, you can just ship it back. Doesn't cost anything. They'll send you a label. Easy peasy. So you have that level of trust. You have social proof. All the reviews on Amazon are there. So what we know is that there is a different language being spoken than when you go into brick and mortar, because you also can't pick up the product. You can't smell it. You can't touch it. So you're buying a pair of shoes. It might look great in the pictures, but in reality, it might be pretty shitty. So how do you build confidence in the customer where they know that your pair of shoes or your pair of glasses, when they see it on that listing, that it's going to satisfy their concerns? And we use the pillars of influence: trust, social proof, authority, likability, consistency, and reciprocity.
Excellent. And just switching back to what you're actually selling on Amazon, in your courses and training, are most of your clients involved in like the health supplements niche, or are you doing all sorts of product sellers?
That's a really good question, but we do everything. So on Amazon, we use an algorithm that we teach. I also have a course where, like I said, I teach people how to do it. And we teach them how to find areas of vulnerability. And what I mean by that is areas in the marketplace where there are vulnerabilities, where the competition is weak. And we teach you how to go in there and dominate in those areas. So we don't limit it to any category. Health and beauty, health and wellness, of course, is one of the big major areas on Amazon where we excel. And it's one of the big money areas on Amazon. But it's not the only one. Automotive, fishing, firearms, accessories, in this country. In Australia, it'll probably be different. Although I think in Australia, you guys are pretty fond of your guns too, right? You shoot things like... you don't.
Very, very restricted.
Very restricted. What do you do if a kangaroo comes and attacks you?
Farmers are allowed to have a rifle, but that's about it.
Okay, well, there you go. But my point is this, that the riches are in the niches. I teach this to my students all the time. And what that means is that you want to get into a blue ocean category. It doesn't matter what it is, but it better be blue ocean. And what we mean by that is, at some areas, you go into the ocean, it's going to be blue. There's nobody else there. You can swim, you can fish, you can do whatever you want. It's glorious. But as you go into certain other areas and other people come in, sharks come in, the water gets red. And we want to avoid those areas. So what we suggest is look into the niches. Look into how micro you can get and still find a product that can actually be successful for you. And it's amazing. So maybe sunglasses, as an example. I think you call them sunnies there.
Yeah.
Sunnies, right? Yeah. Okay. There you go. So you look at your sunnies and you go, oh, wow, well, that's really cool. I want to sell sunnies. But you know what? That market may be oversaturated. It may be red ocean. So what are we going to do? Oh, well, look at this. I need a case for my glasses. My glasses didn't come with a case, or I lost my case. Well, oh, look at this. There's cases being sold, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. What if I made a case that held 2 glasses? Fantastic. Now you're getting even more niche. What if I made a case that had a slot for prescription glasses and for a pair of sunnies? Boom. Now you got it. So you break down, you find the niche, and the riches are in the niches, which is one of the key secrets that we teach.
Excellent. Now, a lot of my audience are people that are wanting to set up a business. So what I always ask guests is to tell us about their own sort of journey when they were getting into the business and breaking through, and some of the setbacks and failures perhaps that they've had to overcome. What would you say would be the biggest bump in your journey, Shaahin?
Oh, wow. So are we talking about my biggest bump in my journey as being an Amazon seller, during the ecstasy days? Which one would it be?
Probably the early days, where you're sort of on the way up and not quite there yet.
Yeah. So I guess maybe one of the best ways I could tell you this is a story from my book. I've got an upcoming book called Billion, How I Became King of the Thrill Protocol. We're releasing that in August. And, I was young, Julian. I was 16 when I started my company, roughly early teens, right? And I started this company and I realized that I could make money very fast. My cost for producing the product was about 25 cents. My price for selling it, Julian, was $20. So you could imagine how much profit there was there. Now, making money was easy. I was making millions of dollars. And one morning I woke up and I got notice. I went to my office and, the news broke that we had made $1 billion in revenue. And I was shocked, right? I was like, holy fuck, $1 billion. And then I realized I didn't know what a billion meant. And I was going to be on a big news channel. And I thought, fuck, man, they're going to ask me how much a billion is. And so this was pre-internet. So I'm like rummaging about, looking in encyclopedias. Fuck, a British billion is like 1,000 million, 100 million. Like, I'm like, how much did we actually make? But what I learned is this, that making money is only one part of the story. And you know this as an entrepreneur. What do you think the other side of that story is?
Well, just, satisfaction, passion.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think passion, and I often tell people this, passion is great, but you should keep it to the bedroom because it doesn't really relate to your products or your company. What matters when you're making money, for me at least, what I've learned, Julian, is that there's 2 parts to making money. Part 1 is making it, and part 2 is keeping it. And most people are usually good at one, but not both. If you can learn to be great at both of those things, you can become a master of your own destiny. Now, people will think, oh, well, making money is so fucking hard, man. Like, the economy's bad, or my circumstances are bad, or I don't have a leg up. Dude, I started with less than fucking zero, with nothing. I was breaking into brand new apartment buildings, sleeping in there, cleaning it up, and leaving in the mornings. That's where I slept. I had nothing. And I created a company with $1 billion in revenue. So it's very possible to do that, to make that money. But keeping the money is a whole nother skill set. And that's where we get into foundational thinking. And that's what we teach. Again, in the course is I like to teach people that you need to have foundational thinking, and it's not going to happen overnight. So you need to have some of your money in a Roth IRA, in some kind of a retirement vehicle, right? You need to have some of your money in the stock market. You need to have some investment in the real estate market. Similarly, you need to have some money in an e-commerce business. E-commerce is the hottest thing going on right now. And then you can have some money that you don't care about if you burn in some longer term investments. Maybe you're into crypto. Maybe you're into some other kind of newer investment. And you can do that. But when you do that and you have this foundational thinking, nothing can ever impact you in a negative way because, today my real estate isn't doing good. That's fine. My crypto is doing great. Oh, my crypto isn't doing good. My Amazon business is rocking it, right? My Amazon business isn't doing so great today. Then one of my other foundations is there. But when you have those foundations, you can grow. And in order to have those foundations, you have to have stability. So when people always come to me, I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, Shaahin, I really want to take your mastery course. I really want to sell on Amazon this. And I looked at him and I said, buddy, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I think I'm okay. I've got enough money for, the next month for groceries. I said, wait a second. So after a month, you're not going to have money for groceries if you don't work? Oh, no. But yeah, no, that's right. And I said, dude, you don't fucking need my Amazon course. What you need is Uber. He said, what? I said, yeah, you need to go out there and fucking drive Uber. You need to go out there and make enough money, hustle, work hard until you have enough cash where you are comfortable and you have that foundation to build the fourth pillar of your foundation. And then come see me and I'll teach you how to create predictable recurring revenue on the Amazon platform. And in the meanwhile, you can learn, right? And I have a 1-hour course that, by the way, Julian, I'm happy to, it's normally $200. I'm happy to share it with your listeners for free if you want. And we can, use the code Julian for them to get that absolutely for free. And it's everything you need, A to Z, to sell on Amazon and create that fourth pillar, that e-commerce wealth on the Amazon platform.
Wonderful, Shaahin. Yeah, I'll put that on the blog and people can get into that. And I'll also put all of Shaahin's contact details and socials if you want to get in touch with Shaahin. He's got a lot of good information, not only about making money on Amazon, but also, setting up that foundation, diversifying, making sure that you give yourself the best possible chance of long-term sustainability, which is half the battle, really, and so that you don't burn out. Thanks for coming on, Shaahin. Very good information.
Yeah, thank you, Julian. Yeah, and for any of your listeners, if they're interested, if I can support them most, I've in my life, done fairly well. You guys can read up on me and my story. But if I can help anybody out, my goal, my mission now is to encourage other people to think foundationally. So if there's any way I could bring value to your listeners, please go onto my website. It's ShaahinCheyene.com. I'm sure you'll include it in the notes, but for you guys who don't, it's www.ShaahinCheyene.com. And reach out to me, send me a message, let me know what inspires you or how I can support you to create recurring, predictable revenue streams. And if I can inspire people, if I can get people to take their life to the next level, if I can, get them a little bit closer to that edge and give them the courage to jump safely, then my job is done, Julian.
Wonderful. We'll do that. Thanks very much for coming on, Shaahin.
Thank you, buddy. Honored to be on. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Catch you later.